Okay, so welcome to Just Cook. We're doing our first challenge, our £10 challenge. I'm going to go into our local Tesco's here in Huntingdon, and we're going to be looking to see what we could get for a tenner. So I've got this to spend. There you go. Get it around the right way with a queen's head. We're going to take this in, see what we can buy, share with you what I've bought at the end of this. I'm going to come up with some meals. We're going to do the meals for 4 people, and I'm going to see how many I can get out of this and what we can do. So let's go and get some shopping done. Do a casserole, but also get some flesh and bones. So that's 75p for that bag. That's a good price, 35p. Casserole, turn with a casserole. Yeah, chickpeas, just give it a bit of flavour. Okay, so we've been shopping. We've got all our stuff. We've just got it for just under £10, about 6p shy of £10. And what we've got is, I think, a really good collection of food that's going to make some really nice dishes. We've got a whole chicken, which we got for £2.95. I was going to buy chicken legs, but then I saw this, and this is really great value. We can get a couple of dishes out of this. We've got some cooking bacon, which is the end bits, but we're going to chop it up anyway, so there's no point in wasting money buying really nice rashers of bacon when you're going to chop it up and put it in a dish. That was 70p for that pack. That's brilliant. Great value for money. We've got some tomato sauce there to use as a base. We've got some eggs. We've got some chickpeas to go in our casserole. We've got beef mince, which is steak mince, which is good. That's really good value for money, just £2.19. A few mushrooms. Got really cheap, 20p for a packet of pasta like that. For 4 people, that's bloody good value for money. Really good. A little bit of cheese at the end there, just to use our money up, just to make it an extra ingredient. We've got sweet corn, carrots, onions. I've got a really good deal on Maris Pipers. These were on offer. 79p for a bag of Maris Pipers. Absolutely brilliant value. Hi and welcome back to Just Cook. We've just done our £10 challenge, as you would have seen on our website. I've managed to create 4, I hope you'll like, really nice dishes from this. We would use them as dinners or lunches whenever you have your main meal. And so this now I'm going to show you is part of how I came up with that, what dishes we've got. I'm going to show you how to prepare some of these dishes and then we'll present them all up and you can have a look and give us feedback on there. But the feedback's been very good. For this challenge, for this budget challenge. We will do more. So the first thing, the most important really part of this to get these 4 dishes is the chicken, because from the chicken I'm going to get 2 dishes from this. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this chicken for sauté. It's what it's called in the industry, and this gets you 9 nice pieces of chicken out of this chicken, and we're not going to waste any of this chicken. Part of this chicken is going to go to the casserole, which is one of the dishes, and the other part of it's going to go to making soup and putting some really nice chicken into that soup, along with the pasta and the mushrooms to give it a real hearty meal rather than just a soup starter. So we're going to get started with the chicken. This is what I say is very important. So first of all, I'm going to take off the wings. Just pop that off like that. You can just, if you want, just chop straight through it. That works as well. So if you're not like me, a chef, you can just cut straight through like that. Then we're going to take, we've got the legs and we've got the breast. Now generally you take the legs off and you take the breasts off. On this one we're going to take the legs off as normal, but then we're going to take the breast halfway here, and I'll show you how to do that. It's very easy, a little bit of practice. So chicken straight off, leg down, get all that meat. Again, just cut down, pull it. You can see that, cut down. If you want to just pop that bone up and then straight through there. We're getting as much meat off them as possible. We're going to cut them again in a second. And then we've got the breast here, which is all meat, no bone. These have got bones in them, so there's less, we've got 40% bone in there, so there's less meat on these. These are just meat. So you can see the breastbone is straight down the middle. I'm going to actually cut just straight through in line with this knuckle. So the knife goes straight down and straight through, and you still get a really nice, good, meaty piece of chicken. When you're on a budget, your portions are going to be that little bit smaller of meat, and so this is a great way to make your chicken go further. And it doesn't matter whether I'm making these two dishes, you can do this for all your dishes. If you've got a big family, you get 9 pieces out of this. So there's those pieces there. Now you can see here, we've still got a nice bit of breast on the bone. And I'm just going to take that straight down, cut through, taking all that meat with us. So now we've got a nice piece of meat. This has got a bit of bone, and then just carefully cut through. It's only cartilage, so it's not big hard bones, and you've got 3 more pieces of chicken there. Then with the carcass here, you've still got meat here, under here. You can take this fat off. I'm going to put this in a pot and make a nice stock from this. And what I'm going to do is put this in with these 3 pieces of chicken to make the soup. When you've cooked this, you're going to scrape all this meat off, because there's quite a bit, and you'll be surprised how much you can get off the bottom of this chicken to put in your soup and make it really meaty. So for the casserole, I'm going to use the 2 bits of breast and the 2 legs. And I'm just going to, for a tip for the leg, if you take the flesh back here, lay it on its back, you'll see a line there. If you cut through that line, you go straight through the bone. No hacking, no having to chop really hard. So there's a line made there for you already, just so you can see it. Just cut through like that. Trim that little bit of fat off. So this is going to be for the stock. This is going to be for the casserole. So we're now going to crack on, and I'm going to make the casserole now, show you what to do. We've got our chicken. As part of the recipes you'll see on the website from the 10-pound challenge. Got diced carrots, diced onions, crushed garlic in here. I've got the tin of chickpeas that we're going to add to it. That'll give a little bit more goodness to the casserole. I've got the potatoes there, which I'm going to slice. They're going to go on top. So this is going to be a total dish. If you want to add some green veg to it, that's great. But for this, you can eat it. It's got carrots in it. It's got chickpeas in it. It's got potatoes on it. You can just eat it as one dish. That's how we eat it at home. This is actually, I make it a little bit different for us. It's a bit more expensive, but the recipe is on our website, and I make it a bit more veg and just a bit more upmarket, if you like. And we make it as one whole dish, and it's the favourite dish in the family. I've got a little knob of butter, so that's going to go on the potatoes, because it's going to make the top bits nice and crispy and brown, and that's what the kids fight over. So I'm going to get this pan nice and hot. I'm going to dip this in some flour, just seasoned flour, just to give it a little bit of colour, and it helps thicken up the chicken casserole when we're cooking. You just want to brown this on each side. Once they're cooked, once they're browned on each side, we're going to put them in a casserole dish, which I've got here, and we're going to then cook the veg, onions, carrots, all that into this dish to get the flavour from it. So as you can see, we've got them nice and brown. Just going to pop them into the casserole dish. Now, obviously, when I did this, we've added some sundry items from your cupboard. So a little bit of flour that obviously we didn't buy, a little bit of butter, and that made the total cost with what we spent on the night just over £10, £10.40. So not a huge amount of money over. Now, I'm going to be putting up some tips on the website as to how to keep costs down, as it were, within your cooking budget, and having things like herbs and spices cooking in your garden, or herbs in your garden. I've got bay leaf tree, I've got parsley, dill, mint, all growing in our garden. That's a great way to keep it cheap, not buy these pound bunches which end up going off. You just go and cut it as you need. So, final 2 pieces of chicken in there. Carrot, onions, garlic going in there. Let's just fry them off a little bit. Get a little bit of colour and flavour into them. So, got that frying, got our Chickpeas straight in. And then one of the additions is I'm using a bit of stock cube. You can make if you've got your own stock, you can use cube. I've got a gel here, just boosts the flavour. And then from that, I'm just going to add some water to this, bring it to the boil. And then this is going to form our nice sauce, and it'll thicken up, even though it's not very thick here. Once it cooks with the chicken, that flour gets in there. That will thicken up nicely. So that's come up to the boil now. That's looking good. And you can use different stocks. You can get the packet mixes if you've got for the chicken, which help thicken the casseroles as well. It's up to you how you do it. But this is a perfectly good way. So you can see that all looking absolutely tasty in there. So that looks really nice. Now what we're going to do is we're going to top that with the potatoes. So quite simple, you can layer it how you want. I like to go around in a circle, but you can do it in lines. What's nice is if you can get a couple of layers on this. I always put the end bits in the middle because they're not as nice as the sliced ones. The end bits are a little bit thicker and knobbly. So I just go around, let's get the end bits and just the bits that are like that. And then we'll go around a second time because that will form a nice layer. The top layer will get crispy as we cook this, and the bottom layer will soak up some of them juices and get the flavour really nice in there. So you can see we've easily got 2 layers on there. So I'm just going to pour this butter over, and then I'm going to brush it around just to make sure everything gets covered. Not too much. And just make sure it's all got a little bit of that coating on, because that's what will crisp the potatoes up with. Like that. A little bit of an artist. Lid on, that's going to go in the oven. Hour and 20 minutes, hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes. 180 degrees, which I think is gas 4. It's on our website, the recipe. Put that in, and then just before, once it's cooked off that 20 minutes, I'm going to take the lid off, turn the oven up to about 200, just crisp them potatoes up, and we'll have a look at that once it's cooked. So the casserole's in the oven. We have our second dish that we're going to get from the chicken, and that's the chicken soup. Recipe's on our website, and I keep going on about it. I've made the soup here. It's very straightforward. Once you've got your stock made, cook your pasta as you would normally cook it. Chop that up. I've added into this then the 100 grams of flour and butter, equal quantities. Cook that out a little bit. Added the stock slowly, beating it in to make a nice thick soup. And this really is quite thick. So I mean, if you prefer it thinner, but you've got to remember this is we're talking about is for a nice meal. You can see in there you've got the mushrooms now, the pasta in there, the chicken's in there, all chopped up. There's plenty to go around. And this really does, we have this fairly often. My son really likes chicken soup, and he likes it like this. Nice slice of crusty bread, but you can see you get 4 good portions out of that. That looks absolutely lush. Makes a really nice, very, very filling, really tasty. Nice slice of bread if you want with it, brilliant. That's the chicken soup for you. Okay, so moving on then to our third dish, spaghetti bolognese. I know it's a pretty standard, probably you eat it a lot and don't need to tell you how to make it. But obviously we've got the ingredients we've got, and the recipes is again on our website. I've cooked the pasta as normal. I've made our spaghetti bolognese sauce, which looks really tasty, really chunky. Looks very, very nice. It smells delicious. And there's, as I say, you can either mix all the pasta together as you like, or like I'm doing here, just spoon 4 equal portions on top. That looks really yummy. I'm getting hungry. And then, you know, I managed to get some cheese out of this. It was a 50p packet of sliced cheese. You want to add it or not add it, that will melt as we leave that on there. But it just gives you that little bit extra flavour. And I think, you know, that looks fantastic. For the cost of that dish, that's a really wholesome, full dish. Okay, so dish number 4, the final dish we managed to get out of this £10 challenge. This is our potato cake with bacon, sweet corn, it's got onions in it. We're going to have an egg on it, and we're going to have some cheese on it. This is the potato cake here. So I've made 4 of these. I did put a tip out yesterday. When I made mine, you can put them in a tray and bake them and cut them out. I did mine individually, and what I did was, if you've got a burger press, put it in a burger press because it squeezes all the excess water out and just make sure they become much more crispy. So I pan fried that, and then in the oven, once it got a bit of colour on it, in the oven for 20 minutes just to cook it right through. I've then got the bacon, sweet corn mix here. So there's plenty of that, don't be shy with it. And don't worry about it looking a little bit untidy, that's all part of eating. So we've got plenty on there. Then we're going to pop the cheese on. We've got the sliced cheese again just to use up. And then we're going to put the best bit, which is the fried egg on top. Nice soft fried egg so that yolk cuts right through it. Turn that down a little bit. Now, you've got choices here. If you're feeling healthy, you want to poach your egg. I also like a poached egg, so you could easily put a poached egg on top of this, keep it nice and soft. But I thought I'd do a fried egg. You know, it's a little bit easier, less hassle. And then on top of that, there we go. Lovely. Now look at that. When you cut into that, that egg yolk's going to go right into that, mix in with the potato. Absolute scrummy. Bit of bread with that, sorted. Really, really nice. Okay, so we've got the casserole out of the oven now. We've got all 4 dishes here that we've cooked on our £10 budget. I think we've done really well getting these 4 dishes out of 10, just under 10 quid. We've got our potato and vegetable cakes with the bacon, sweet corn, cheese and fried egg on top. Lovely dish. We've got our chicken casserole with vegetables, potatoes, all in one pot. That can eat just as it is. If you want to put some side veg, that's up to you. We've got our lovely chicken soup with mushrooms and pasta. Really filling, really lovely on a cold day. And then we've got the spaghetti bolognese with a bit of the cheese on top. I put a bit of the bacon in that to give it a bit of flavour. You'll see all the recipes on our website, www.justcookwithpaul.co.uk. Try them all out. Try to challenge yourself if you want. Send us some pictures. Give us some feedback. I'm sure you'll enjoy all these. I know my kids are going to enjoy eating them this week. Enjoy.